Alright guys, today's notes are the last set of notes for Unit 6, 6-7, Solving Radical Equations and Inequalities. Before we get started, reminding you guys to write your name on your notes right now so that when you turn them in, your name is already written on your notes. So go ahead and do that now. Write your name on your notes so when you turn them in, your name is not missing and you don't get a 0. Alright. So in order to solve radical equations here, go ahead and pause the video. You need these steps written down in your notebook in order to receive full credit. So step 1, you're going to isolate the radical on one side of the equation. So I'm going to do that step here. I have the square root of x plus 2, and the square root of x plus 2 is underneath. The x plus 2 is underneath the square root. The plus 4 is on the outside, so my radical is not isolated, because I have something else besides the radical and what's underneath it. I have this plus 4 that's extra, that's making the square root not be by itself, not be isolated. So I need to subtract that 4. Then I would just have the square root of x plus 2 equals 3. Now I'm going to raise both sides of the equation to a power equal to the index of the radical. So now that my square root, my radical is by itself, it's just the square root and what's underneath it. Now I'm going to take this and raise it to the power of whatever the index is. With the square root, of course, it is an index of 2. So I'm going to square both sides. That's the inverse. Inverse of squared is square root. Inverse of square root is squared. So these two would cancel out and you'd be left with just the x plus 2 equals 3 squared is 9. So I raise both sides to that and now I'm just solving. So I started to solve by simplifying this. Now I need to solve this. The thing left to do here is to subtract 2. So this would be x is equal to 7. Now this may or may not be the answer. Because the domain for radicals is not all real numbers, you have to check your answer to make sure that it works. So that is a must. That is not a suggestion. That is part of your steps. Solve, check your answer. So it's not a suggestion. It's not, oh, you might want to check your work. It's check your work. That is step 3. So check. Does x equal 7 work in this case? So if I took the square root of 7 plus 2, and then I added 4 to it, does that equal 7? So square root of 7 plus 2, that's really the square root of 9, plus 4 equals 7. Square root of 9, now when we're solving, we're only going to take the positive root. So square root of 9 is just positive 3, not positive and negative 3, not when solving. So 3 plus 4, does that equal 7? 3 plus 4 is definitely equal to 7. That means that x is equal to 7. So we checked our answer and it is correct. Okay, so always, always check your answer because it might come out to be an extraneous solution sometimes and you will never know unless you check it. So not a suggestion, do it. All right, go ahead and pause the video here and give this one a try on your own. Don't forget to check your answer. All right, so if you solve this one, you would have gotten x equals 38. When you check it, you do get 5 equals 5. That's true, so then that means x does equal 38. Okay. Now, this one is a little bit different because we have a radical on both sides, so there's no way for me to isolate both of these radicals. There would be this 2 or a negative 2 somewhere, and we have a negative on this side. So the only thing to do here when this happens is get a radical on one side and another one on the other. So a radical on each side, and then go ahead and use the index. Now, when I take the square root of the whole thing and square it, it cancels out. So this is just x minus 12, but this side, when I square this, they do not cancel out because the inverse of 2 is not squaring something. Here I have to use the box. This squared means 2 minus square root of x times 2 minus square root of x. So we're going to use either distribute or use the box method. I'm going to go ahead and use the box method. All right, so here I would have 4, negative 2 square roots of x, here negative 2 square roots of x, and then here a negative and a negative is going to make a positive. Square root of x times square root of x is just x. So then right here, adding these together, 4 plus negative 2 square roots of x plus negative 2 square roots of x plus x is going to be 4 minus 4 square roots of x plus x. Now we only have one radical, and we can go ahead and isolate that radical. So I would subtract 4 and subtract x from both sides. So I get rid of the 4 here, get rid of the x here. I'd have negative 4 square roots of x equals, got rid of the x here, and then this would be negative 16. Now I need to get rid of this negative 4. It's being multiplied, so the inverse of that would be to divide by negative 4. So square root of x would then equal positive 4. Now that we've isolated our radical, we'll go ahead and square it. So x is equal to 16. Don't box it in too fast because we still need to check our answer. So go ahead, pause the video, check your answer here. Does x equal 16? All right, so when you plug in the 16 in for the x on both of these x's, we get that 2 is equal to negative 2, and that's not true. 2 is definitely not equal to negative 2. 2 is equal to 2, and negative 2 is equal to negative 2, but 2 is not equal to negative 2. So on the left side, when we plug in that 16, we get square root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2, but here 2 minus the square root of 16 is 2 minus 4, which is negative 2. So x equals 16 was not a correct answer. That means, and there's no other answer to pick, so that means that there is no solution. So it doesn't matter what number you plug in, the square root of x minus 12 will never equal 2 minus the square root of x. So no solution. This is the reason why it's very important to always check your answer. So always check your answer. It is not a suggestion. It is mandatory. Go ahead and try this one on your own. Pause the video here and try this one. Okay, same thing here. When you solved it, you would have gotten x equals 1, but when you checked x equals 1, we would get that 4 is equal to 6. That's definitely not true, so that means this is no solution again. Make sure you check your answer. All right, next examples here. Now, even though these don't look like radicals, they are radicals. And every time you see a fraction as an exponent, that tells you it's a radical. So you can rewrite it if you want. You can rewrite this as 2 cubed root of 6x minus 3 minus 4 equals 0, if that makes you more comfortable to isolate that radical. So now you know that you need to add 4 so that we get 2 times the cube root of 6x minus 3 equals positive 4, and then divide by 2. Cube root of 6x minus 3 is equal to 2. And now we've isolated our radical here. So if it makes you feel better to change that 1/3 exponent to a radical so that you know just exactly what to isolate, then that's fine. So now I'm going to cube this. And the cube root and cube cancel each other out. So we have 6x minus 3 equals 2 cubed is 8. And then we'll just go ahead and solve. So add 3. 6x equals 11. And then divide by 6. X is equal to 11/6. And I do still need to check my answer. So check, is x equals 11/6 a good answer? I'm going to pause the video here since I'm running out of time. All right, so here's my work. I plugged in 11/6, and when I multiply that times 6, I just get 11. So that worked out really nicely. And in the end, I get 0 is equal to 0, so I know that's correct. Go ahead and pause the video and solve B. Okay, for this one, I did not change it back to a radical. Instead, I just got the parentheses and the 1/3 by itself, and then I raised it to the power of 3 because that's the same thing as cubing. So I cubed that to get rid of the 1/3 exponent, got 7/27, and that was a little tricky to plug in because of all the fractions, but it all worked out. 0 is equal to 0, so that means y does equal 7/27. So even if your answer is a fraction, you need to check it. All right, go ahead, pause the video here, and give this one a try. All right, so for this example, you should have gotten n equals 5, and then when you checked it, you got 0 equals 0. So then that means n does equal 5. That is a correct answer. All right, so we did the solving radical equations. Here's solving radical inequalities. Here's the steps for that. Identify the values of the variable for which the radical is non-negative. So the radical has to be positive, has to be greater than or equal to 0. Solve the inequality and then graph on a number line to find the solution area. Again, step 3 is not optional. It is one of the steps in order to solve correctly. So follow all 3 of these steps. Make sure you're writing these steps down in order to receive full credit for this assignment. All right, so here, in order to solve, we're going to identify the values of the variable for which the radical is non-negative. So that means right here, when is 2x plus 2 not negative? It's not negative if it's greater than or equal to 0. And I have to figure that part out first. So that means 2x has to be greater than or equal to -2. And that means x has to be greater than or equal to -1. So on a number line right here, I'm going to place a number line here. Here's 0, here's -1. So I know that my answer, just based on the domain, needs to be a number that is greater than or equal to -1. It cannot be, sorry, technical difficulties there. So it has to be a number at least greater than or equal to -1. It cannot be anything less than that. It can't be -2, can't be -3. So that means if I get -3 when I actually solve this, then that means there's going to be no solution. So now that we know what the number has to be, we can go to step 2, which is solve that inequality. We're going to solve the inequality just like we did with the equations. We're going to isolate that radical. So subtract 1. This would get us the square root of 2x plus 2 is greater than or equal to 4. Square both sides. And we get 2x plus 2 greater than or equal to 16. Let's subtract 2. And then divide by 2. Okay, so now this tells me the actual solution for the inequality is x has to be greater than or equal to 7. But my actual solution is where both this and my domain intersect. So here at 7, I have greater than or equal to 7 right here. Where the black line and this green line both intersect is greater than or equal to 7. So that means this is my answer. This just helps us find the domain. Okay, let's try another one. Go ahead, pause the video here and try this one.